We've all been there. You get this flash of a brilliant idea, but then what? How do you actually turn that little spark into something that makes a real, tangible impact? Well, today we're going to break down the practical steps to do exactly that.
Think about it. That light bulb moment, right? Maybe you're in the shower, on a walk, and then, bam, it hits you. An idea that feels like it could genuinely, truly change things for the better.
And then, nothing. Crickets. It just sits there, scribbled in a notebook, totally forgotten. It is one of the most common frustrations out there. But what if the problem isn't your idea at all?
And that, right there, is the crucial point. Your creativity, it's awesome. It's there. What's missing is the roadmap, the set of steps to guide that creativity from just a thought into a real-world solution. And that's exactly what we're going to look at today.
So the structure we're using comes from this fantastic module by the Flying Wings online school. It's a really practical, proven process that's designed to shift you from just, understanding problems to actively getting in there and creating and shaping the solutions. So here's our journey for today. It's a 4-step process. We're going to start with generating a bunch of impactful ideas, then we'll get real about how to choose the right one. After that, we define its core value, and finally, we'll forge it into something stronger through feedback. Sound good? Let's dive in.
First up, generation. Now, this is not just about throwing a million ideas at a wall and hoping something sticks. No, this is about generating ideas that have a real purpose right from the very beginning.
The key phrase here is creativity under constraints. It sounds a little counterintuitive, right? But the most powerful ideas don't come from unlimited freedom. They actually come from a super sharp focus on solving a specific real-world problem. The goal is to take what you know about that problem and turn it into lots of different practical ideas.
Okay, so now you've got a pile of ideas. This is where we hit a really critical stage, choosing which one to actually pursue. Honestly, this is where so many projects just stall out, but having a clear way to filter your ideas can change the entire game.
This is the bottom line. An idea might sound totally brilliant in your head, but if it isn't actually useful to people, if it's not ethically responsible, and if you can't really build it, well, it's not the right idea to move forward with. So how do we test for all that?
Well, here are the 3 essential filters that every single idea has to pass through. First, social impact. Does it actually matter? Is it solving a real pain point for someone, for a community? Second, practical feasibility. This is where you have to be brutally honest. Do you have the skills, the money, the time to make this thing happen? And third, ethical responsibility. Is your solution fair? Who might it unintentionally hurt? An idea has to clear all 3 of these hurdles.
All right, you've chosen your idea. Now it's time to really define its core value. This is the heart and soul of your project. It's the why behind everything you're doing.
And we call this your value proposition. Basically, it's a simple, clear statement that explains what makes your solution special and, most importantly, how it directly helps the people you're trying to serve. It's your promise to them.
Now, this next part is a really crucial distinction that trips a lot of people up. Your beneficiaries are the people whose lives are actually improved by your idea. Your customers are the ones who pay for it. Now, sometimes they're the same person, but a lot of the time, they're not. Think about a free educational app. The students are the beneficiaries, right? But the customers might be the school district or maybe even advertisers. You have to create value for both. And finally, we've arrived at the 4th stage. And this is something you have to remember. No great idea, not a single one, emerges fully formed and perfect. It has to be tested, it has to be challenged, and it has to be improved.
This is all about action. You have to get your idea out of your head and put it in front of other people. Present it, and then really listen to the feedback, especially the tough parts. You have to learn to improve through collaboration. This whole process of iteration, of making small, continuous improvements over and over, that's what separates a good idea from a truly impactful solution.
I absolutely love this way of putting it. Feedback isn't a threat to your idea. It's the very thing that strengthens it. It's like a fire that burns away all the impurities and makes it tough enough to actually survive in the real world. And this is really the fundamental shift that this whole process creates. You're no longer just someone who sees problems. You become an active creator, an architect of solutions. And that is an incredibly powerful transformation to make. So always remember, the goal is to hit that sweet spot, that intersection of all 3. It's got to be creative, it's got to be useful, and it's got to be responsible. That's where the real magic happens, and this framework is your guide to finding it. So think back to that idea we talked about right at the beginning. The one that went nowhere? Well, it's not a dead end anymore.
You now have a process, a roadmap, to take it forward. So the only question left is, what will you build?